Hey, what's up, Elder Scrolls Nation? It's Skullzi, and I saw something pretty interesting that I wanted to share with you all. Some of you may have seen this already, as some of you guys were cool enough to comment about it and ask if I've heard of this yet, and yes, I have. I wanted to look into it a little bit more first, though, to see if there's anything else I could add to the story before I made a video about it. And more or less, this involves an NPC that may give us a pretty solid hint as to what the story of the Elder Scrolls VI might be. And normally I would think this kind of stuff wouldn't be true, but you'd be surprised. This situation is pretty interesting, and I think there might be something to this. So a user on Imgur, a popular image hosting site in case you haven't heard of it, uploaded a pretty interesting screenshot from Morrowind of all things. Major props to the user Stagsdale for posting this. You are a real Elder Scrolls Nation MVP. Here is the screenshot. In the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, within the Eldrune Temple, a priest named Laura Serrano has something interesting to say when asked about the latest rumors. And as you can see, this isn't some rumor about some kid trying to summon the Dark Brotherhood or some nearby Daedra shrine that has all the villagers tripping. No, this rumor has to do with a possible Akaviri invasion, and beyond that, one that is supposed to happen after a very specific set of events. And these events seem like they're already happening right before our eyes in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. His exact words are as follows: "I've heard rumors that the Akaviri are making preparations to invade us again. They are apparently only waiting for the Empire to collapse in civil war or some other crisis. We'd certainly need a Hortator then. If we had one, maybe they could travel to Akaviri before the invasion and weaken or stop it." What? Yeah, crazy, right? Now before we get too excited over this, let's break it down and see if there are any possible holes first. After all, I respect you guys and I don't want to feed you bullshit. Bullshit tastes pretty bad. I've added a bunch of sugar to it. Nothing you can do can make it taste good. Anyway, first off, who are the Akaviri? One would think it refers to any of the races of Akavir, and it pretty much does. But in-game, which we have to take into context here since this was said by a character in-game, when people talk about Akaviri, they're usually not referring to just all of the races of Akavir, believe it or not. Now, we already know some of the major races of Akavir, and they all have names. There are the monkey-like Tang Mo, who are said to be highly intelligent and mostly honorable. There are the frozen demons, known as Kamal, who defrost during the summer months and invade Akavir. There's the tiger people of the Kap Hotun, and the vampiric serpents known as the Tasasi. And interestingly enough, humans. The race of man that comes from Akavir are what most NPCs refer to when they speak of the Akaviri. In-game. Remember that. I'm saying in-game. In-game. I know a lot of you are going to comment and say Akaviri means any race in Akavir, and it does. But I'm saying in-game, when you talk to most NPCs and they're talking about Akaviri, they're talking about the race of man that comes from Akavir. Now, the Akaviri not only helped found the original Blades, the order that protects the Emperor, but they also found the Dragonborn Riemann Cyrodiil long ago. Now, there is one possible hole to the scenario stated by Laura Serrano, and that would be it's generally believed that the vampiric serpent race known as the Tasasi consumed every man and woman of Akavir. So how could they invade now if they're all wiped out? Well, consumed doesn't necessarily have to mean that they are eaten by the Tasasi. It is more possible that the Tasasi could have either enslaved the remaining human Akaviri, or made their entire empire or kingdom surrender to the Tasasi and become a vassal state, a nation that only exists to serve Tasasi interests, and only because they allow them to exist instead of just finishing off the remaining humans and wiping them out completely. Seems like the Tasasi are bent on conquering and dominating, but it also seems like they don't like humans much, and Tamriel is full of both men and myrrh aplenty. It's possible that the Akaviri invasion could indeed involve the humans of the Akaviri, but I'd also think it would most likely revolve around and be driven by the Tasasi, waiting for the Imperial Empire to fall so they can swoop in and conquer. And would the Empire fall? Well, it could. Depending on whatever becomes canon in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, either the Empire or the Stormcloaks could win the Civil War. If the Empire won, they'd likely be stronger than they would be if they had lost, but at the same time, maybe not. Maybe in order to win, they had to use up a lot of their assets, money, and troops in the Civil War, leaving them unprepared to defend themselves from the Akaviri invasion. And if the Stormcloaks won the war, it could splinter the Empire, causing the Thalmor to possibly invade Skyrim, likely conquering it. And who knows where things could go from there. It's likely the Empire could have been its next target, regardless of the White Gold Concordant. Maybe the Empire still would have been stretched far too thin to defend itself, or maybe even more likely the Empire fell after the assassination of the Emperor in Skyrim, causing the Elder Council to take over over, maybe fail miserably, and boom, Akaviri invasion. Of course, this would all depend on how long the Akaviri invasion takes place after the events of Skyrim. That's the other thing that could possibly be an issue with this. The time that passed since Laura Serrano said this. Skyrim happened in the 4th era 201, and Laura Serrano predicted this Akaviri invasion way back in the 3rd era 427. With the 3rd era ending in 433, that means the Akaviri would have been waiting for 207 years for this invasion. By that point, most would think the Akaviri may not even be that interested in this plan anymore, but we have to remember, as I said earlier, it's likely that the Akaviri invasion would heavily involve the Tasasi, who are thought to be vampiric, and vampires generally don't die of old age. So 207 years to a vampiric race that really wants to fucking invade Tamriel may not be that long of a wait. So if this is true, then the Elder Scrolls 6 may feature a full-scale Akaviri invasion. Maybe even a trip to Akavir itself. Would we finally get to walk the shores of Akavir? That would be epic! But what was Laura Serrano talking about when he said a Hortator? Well, it's something that may actually be in the Elder Scrolls 6 if it does have an Akaviri invasion. A Hortator is a leader of a great house of Morrowind, a leader who is given the title of Hortator because they are believed that they can lead everyone during a period of great danger. And I'd say an Akaviri invasion is a great danger indeed. Still doubt this? Well, check this out. Morrowind also definitely predicted the story of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. In this screenshot, you can clearly see Eno Ramari talk about preparing for the end of the 3rd era because they believe that in the 4th era, the gates of Oblivion will open and the Daedra will walk around Tamriel. And that happened! That was the entire point of Oblivion, so without a doubt, Morrowind already foreshadowed the events of the Elder Scrolls 4 correctly. It's quite possible that this quote from Laura Serrano not only predicted the events of the Elder Scrolls 5 when speaking of the Civil War, but also the Elder Scrolls 6 when mentioning the Akaviri invasion. And to be honest, the Elder Scrolls 6 Akavir would be fucking amazing, and I am totally cool with waiting another few years for something of that scale, if Bethesda Game Studios gives us Starfield or something this year. Now, what I want to know is, what do you think about all this, Elder Scrolls Nation? Do you think Laura Serrano Peppers is dropping the Elder Scrolls 6 story right before our eyes? How would you feel about defending Tamriel from an Akaviri invasion, or even traveling to Akavir itself to stop the invasion? Don't forget I'm doing a Q&A Ask Me Anything video this week where I'm answering all of your questions. Be sure to comment a question below and I'll respond to it in that video. I am also doing a Skullzi t-shirt giveaway very soon where I'll be giving away 5 unique Skullzi t-shirts. If you want to win, be sure to subscribe, turn notifications on as YouTube is a McDouchey douche and seems to keep turning them off all the time for some reason, and follow me on that Twatters so you can see all of my twats. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to join us next time when the giant flying squirrel on Skooma took us to Akavir and drunkenly crashed us into a mountain. Huh, weird how the squirrel took us to Akavir in the last video, and here we are in this video talking about Elder Scrolls 6 Akavir. That squirrel knows what he's doing. Quick, get him more skooma!
Bye, have a great time.